In this video example, we'll be assessing a PLP1 frameshift variant for eligibility towards ASO therapies. First, we conduct a variant check. This step is discussed in greater detail in the ABCA4 video example. For this variant, the variant description is correct. Next, we check the inheritance pattern. As discussed in our guidelines, we can utilize OMIM to conduct this search. We just input our gene name in the search bar, and we could see here that the inheritance pattern for the phenotypes listed here are X-linked recessive. Now that we know the inheritance pattern is X-linked recessive, we next check for the pathomechanism. Many resources can be used to assess the mechanism of disease. One can use PubMed, OMIM. In this example, I input the gene name into GeneReviews. If you scroll down to the molecular pathogenesis section of this review, you could see here that deletions and loss of function variants are a mechanism of disease, and given that our variant is a frameshift resulting in an early stop codon, we likely have a loss of function effect. We now know our inheritance pattern and pathomechanism. For step 3, there's no evidence of this variant's effect on splicing, and this step indicates that we could consider exon skipping since we have a frameshift variant, so we can move on to step 4 as suggested by our guidelines. Since our variant is loss of function and X-linked recessive, we can assess the variant for eligibility towards canonical exon skipping ASOs. To keep it simple, we assess for factors that call for quick exclusion when evaluating for eligibility towards canonical exon skipping ASOs, including checking whether the variant is in the first or last coding exon, whether it is out of frame, and whether a stop codon is formed. We can use the UCSC genome browser to do this. So here I have input the coordinates of our variant. We can use the c. notation to do this, and we could see here that this is the specific nucleotide that's duplicated. Over here on the left, we see our transcript of interest, and when we mouse over the exon, we could see that this is exon 5 out of 7. We can also input the transcript number into the ExonViz tool, which is shared in our guidelines. And if we check off non-coding and show exon number, and click submit, we can see here that the variant is not in the first or last coding exon, but it is in an out-of-frame exon. As soon as we meet any of the exclusion criteria, we can go right to the classification guidelines. Since our variant is out of frame, we can classify it as not eligible.